What's good, y'all? It's Read With Me Part 2 for the Serpent Grail. This is real spur of the moment. This is not planned or anything. I gotta see where I left off at. Because I gotta get my reading in where I can, and I just got the fucking time to read. So I'm gonna continue from where I left off on the last Read With Me. Looks like the last time we left off was the practical first level, the elixir of life. It's not gonna be a long video whatsoever, so bear with me. I might have to cut it short in between. I'll try to read this second level after the practical first level. So read. Let's go. So the mythical second level, the Grail. This is the level at which we usually first encounter the Grail mystery. In fact, the mythical level is rather like the Grail itself, since, like the mixing bowl, it contains the clues to both the first and third levels of our Grail triad. In relation to the three cosmic zones of shamanic tradition, this mythical level is associated with the shaman's experience in the underworld or lower world, the body of the world mother. As an internal experience, this realm is the feminine-related subconscious. Through the union of opposites, the masculine-related conscious self and the feminine-related subconscious, the shaman initiates the trance state through which he is consciously able to penetrate the subconscious. The second level is therefore highly subjective in that it conveys the mysteries of the Grail through myth, legend, and fantasy. Here the Grail is like both the human mind and mind stuff. It is intangible, a shadow of the real thing, and so it remains beyond the grasp of the materialist thinking mind, hidden away like the mythical cauldron, which is said to reside in the underworld. It has been suggested by authors such as Roger S. Loomis, the Grail from Celtic myth to Christian symbol, that the Grail shares a common ancestry with the Celtic cauldron. We are told that the cauldron was a vessel of healing, and that there was both a cauldron of venom and a cauldron of cure. After his labors, the archetypal hero would be plunged into both these vessels, not only to restore him to health, but also to toughen him up for future escapades and adventures. The myths surrounding the Celtic cauldron are mysterious as those about the Grail, and yet this magical, imaginative element entices and seduces us. The mythical level of the Grail appeals to our imagination, our feminine side, while at the same time preserving the knowledge of the Grail, carrying its deeper significance like a child in the womb from generation to generation. It must be said, while we would not have to rely on the mythical level for clues if the first practical level were not a secret. The same goes for the third spiritual level, the apex of our diagram, which has also remained a secret to some extent in that it involves experiences of the Hindu Kundalini, which for many of us is totally unconnected to the Grail. That's just about correspondences, you find one thing in one part of the world that you make relate to another part of another part of another part, and you just keep going. It's all about correspondences. There's no definitive answer to one thing, There's no one definitive answer to one thing. There's so many different connecting the dots between everything. But anyways, moreover, these second level clues are different to uncover because they are hidden in allegorical stories, many of which appear surreal, abstract, or even absurd, yet at the same time deeply imbued with seductive and alluring wisdom. Many of these stories emerge from the dreams and trance states of the ancient shamans. Shamanic trance, as already mentioned, is a non-ordinary state of consciousness which has many levels to it. It is accessed via the hypnagogic states. This is the mind point or in-between state in the waking sleep cycle where one is both awake and asleep at the same time. A superimposition or fusion of opposites, a third state. While our consciousness is balanced like a tightrope walker in this third state, we transcend the normal duality of the mind. We suggest that all non-ordinary states of consciousness are due to entering the hypnagogic state, also referring to as lucid dreaming, that is, dreaming consciously. As such, the hypnagogic state is responsible for all kinds of paranormal, psychic, and mystical phenomena, ranging from flash of insight or a spontaneously received answer to creatively inspired dreams, synchronicities, ESP, remote viewing, out-of-body experiences, mystical visions, and enlightenment itself. Or another thing is the flow state. You can get into the flow state, motherfucking doing almost anything, like just fucking reading a book, talking on the camera, lifting weights, sitting in motherfucking nature. You can get into flow state at work, unfortunately. But yeah, that's just the third state, the mind, whatever the fuck, could also be considered the flow state. The differentiation that exists in our interpretations of these experiences really depends on the degree to which we are able to focus our conscious attention in this neutral borderline state, or how successful we are at sustaining conscious awareness within it. Meditation is really due to one trying to access the hypnagogic state. If done frequently, it can easily lead to one entering the hypnagogic state, whether one intends this to happen or not. Like I was saying, you can get into flow state at work and not even realize it. You get into a meditative state. But the more you actually exercise practice of meditation, it becomes like you can fucking go into alpha state immediately and fucking, you in it, you in the shits. Earlier, we looked at the Vesica Pisces, the central oval of which actually represents the hypnagogic state, being the union or fusion of the objective conscious walking and the subjective of conscious sleeping. It also represents the perfect synchronization of the two sides of the brain by which one enters the hypnagogic state. This state of consciousness is sustained, can trigger the orgasmic kundalini enlightenment experience. Hypnagogia, then, is what the author and the satirist Robert Anton Wilson termed the cosmic trigger. And I'm going to end it there. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Got to remember where I left off, so let's go.